What is up, guys? Julian's Way here, and in this video, I want to talk about this guy right here. All right, Hassan Mostafa from Egypt. Now, I did a video talking about this guy here. The first time I saw him was in RX Muscle in the morning. I think he wasn't that popular. He wasn't in the US and so on. He was like, I think, doing shows in Egypt in the Middle East at then. He wasn't this big, but you could have seen the structure, the proportions, his quads, and right away people already know that he was a genetic freak. He has potential, he has talent, and he worked his way up. He did a couple of shows, popular shows, became pro. I do not know exactly when and all, but this is the point where he's at right now. All right, if you follow him or you do not follow him, this man is from the same place as Big Ramy, and now you're seeing other guys like Mohammed Elman, Mohammed Shaban, and all these guys are from Egypt, even though Mohammed Elman, he represents Russia. All right, and there are a few other guys, I think maybe in Classic and so on, but him and I think Big Ramy are the two top guys there. Now, this guy has a lot of muscle. He has serious quads. Look at his structure, guys. He doesn't have a thick, big waist. I think he has a better waist than Nick Walker. He definitely has more muscle than Nick Walker. All right, you're gonna see them side to side if you saw the New York Pro. This guy's problem is conditioning. I'm a fan of him, right? And you've got to see what it is. I was a fan of Phil Heath, and I don't know if they even want to talk about Phil. Phil did his time, and so far nobody is like 2 Olympias away from Phil Heath, 3 Olympias, or even 4 Olympias or 5 Olympias away from Phil Heath. Phil Heath already made his legacy just like Arnold did, but this man right here has the potential to be top 5 in the Olympia. Definitely top 5 if he can bring in that conditioning, man. He has a lot of muscle and he probably hasn't reached his peak. He can probably gain more muscle and definitely he can come in condition. Now, I heard people saying that, oh, maybe he's so big and maybe because of this and that. He's not the biggest or the heaviest bodybuilder in the world. If Big Ramy and Ronnie Coleman, all right, 2 different countries, 2 different kind of guys, all right, 2 different ethnicity, so to speak, and they both get shredded. So it's not a thing like guys in Egypt cannot get shredded, or this kind of guy from that country or this kind of guy cannot get shredded, or this kind of thing. All right, that's not the case, man. So if this guy can come in really shredded, and I think we all know that, it's just that he shows off the shows. He has more muscle than the guys that won the last few shows. He has more muscle more than Justin. He has more than Nick Walker, and he definitely has way more muscle than Patrick to begin with. And like I said, he doesn't have a thick waist. He doesn't have a gut hanging. For the amount of muscle and size he carry, all right, he can hold his own, man. You can see his quads here. I do not know what he shot. I mean, he can improve on his back, definitely for sure. And maybe some of the shots how he poses. And he has guys like 7 times 212 champion Flex Lewis there. And even being around guys like Sean Roden and some other guys giving him posing lessons, like the great and legendary Sultan of Cemetery himself, Flex Wheeler, posing him rungs after rungs, going on social media. So conditioning is this guy problem. I do not know. I was going to say maybe Chris Aceto. I was going to say maybe it's Chris not bringing him in, but Chris dial in so many guys, all right? Chris has a long history of bringing in guys super shredded and conditioned now. Best example, and one of the best examples, if not maybe the best, is Sean Roden. Sean Roden was dice, paper thin, razor blade sharp, dice, all right? And he was able to do that with Sean Roden. And Sean Roden is a heavy guy, not things like Big Ramy, but he was able to do it. So I do not know if this guy is cheating on his diet. He's good up to that point. They cannot nail the water, the sodium, the whole conditioning, peak week, whatever. I do not know. Apparently, that's a funny thing though. I mean, it's only until a guy wins shows, then they interview him. But when a guy loses, then they do not talk about the coach. Some people blame it on the coach, and I do not think this is Chris's fault. But who knows? Maybe another coach. He needs another coach because Big Ramy been with so many guys. And there was a time when they did say that Big Ramy doesn't listen. I think that's when he left Oxygen Gym or something like that. They said that how he doesn't listen and he does his own thing his way. I do not know if that's true. I do not know if it's a similar thing with Mostafa, if he end up doing his own thing or he does binge eating. Ramadan is way over. So definitely it's not an issue with Ramadan, like I said, because there are guys that come in lean. And Ramadan is probably what's gonna help this guy even get better, in my opinion. The hours he has to fast, he's supposed to tap into some fat and be burning fat. The amount of hours, all right, it's kind of like a different version of intermittent fasting. Nevertheless, guys, I do not want to say it as it, but to how I'm looking at this man here, he really reminds me of Big Ramy. Big Ramy takes so much years to get it down pack, and I do not want to say he's like a waste of genetics or a waste of talent or a waste of potential, but that's kind of like how it's been. It's like been so many shows back to back, and he was one of the guys that can really go in there and do some damage. And because of conditioning, it's really sad, man. It's really sad. The guy with all this muscle, all this heart, all this dedication. If you follow him, you see the work he put in, how lean, how shredded he was looking, his posing with flex wheel. He did put in time on posing, working his ass off, and I do not know what his problem is, man, but I'm still a fan of him, and I hope he fixes it and gets it done back and bring his best conditioning for his next show. And maybe he might be able to grab a show before the Olympian qualify. But to how I'm seeing it, to be honest, I do not see him making it. The Chicago Pro, some other shows, he's got to take one of those other shows that where maybe some of the guys like Akeem and Sergio and those guys do not show up. All right, I think that was his last chance there. And if he had come in dice, I think he could have taken out Mohammed Shaban and Patrick Moore for sure. All right, and plus he has the experience. He's hung with some big guys. So that's it, guys. If you made it this far and you enjoyed the video or not, you can still give it a thumbs up. Also remember to please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't. Please hit the bell button for notifications. Until my next video, peace, take care, and stay safe.